Hello and welcome to Sketch Together. On this session we're going to learn how to create an icons animation on Flinto. And we're going to do this by using connected layers and also reusing transitions. And it's going to look something like this. Let me open the prototype. And the icons are connected and they're controlled by a tap gesture, but they're also controlled by a swipe gesture. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing that I did was create my design on Sketch, and I used simple shapes, just like rectangles, and I started putting everything together. I rotated some of the rectangles 45 degrees, and for the play button I rotated it 34 degrees, and I named every layer accordingly. So I use only 3 shapes for each icon, and those 3 shapes I will name them 1, 2, and 3, and then I would add a background layer.
Okay, so we have finished our design, and as you can see, let me show you what I did here. So on each of the icons, as you can see, I'm using three shapes, 3 rectangles, which look like outlines, like just lines, but they're actually rectangles. And I named these rectangles 1, 2, and 3. All of them have 3 shapes. Even the X has, it looks like it's only 2 shapes, but two of them, have the same angle and have the same position, and that makes them look like it's only 1. And also, there are 2 more layers that I added, and these are the glow 1 and glow 2. You will see once we connect layers on Flinto, it will make the glow appear from here, from the center, into the background of the next layer, and we're going to learn how to do that. And also, why I named these 1, 2, and 3. This is for me to know how to connect the layers on Flinto. That way it will be easy for me to understand which ones are connected. And that's it. All of them have the same width. I use 48, and some of them have a rotation. For example, this one has a rotation of 45, and these ones have a rotation of 45 and negative 45, and this one has a rotation of 34. But if I were to move them, you will see that it's not a single shape, it's conformed of different shapes. The same here. Okay, now that we know what I did, let's see what we're going to learn today. We're going to learn how to connect layers in Flinto, how to apply different gestures to the same element, and how to reuse transitions. The cool thing about this is that you create the transition once and you can reuse it in different templates or different elements. And also a cool feature from Flinto, which is whatever simple shape, rectangle that you create on on Sketch, it will turn it into vectors on Flinto too. And it will respect even the radius, the coordinate radius. So that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and send to Flinto. So if you don't have the plugin to send to Flinto, go search for send to Flinto. Search for Flinto for Mac on Google, and you'll be able to get the plugin for that. And so yeah, I go to send to Flinto. And automatically, also, as you can see, I put 800 by 600, which is the size of Dribbble, just so I can probably turn this into a shot later. And scale, yeah. I send that and automatically opens for me in Flinto and respects all the different artboards and the naming and everything. So let's go ahead and start doing this. The first thing that I want to do is add a tap gesture. So I'm going to select actually glow 2, which is, I suppose, the biggest one. I'm going to add a gesture and I'm going to tap, and the target is going to be arrow, which is this artboard, and I'm going to create a new transition. I'm going to name this transition as icons. But you can name it whatever you want. It's not really important. It's just for you to understand which one is one. And the first thing that I want to do is put my artboard of the end screen in the middle of the guides. That way it will be, because everything, all the animations and everything is happening in the center. So now that I have this, you'll see that on both artboards, the layers are named the same. And I want to start connecting layers. So the line that is 1 on the end screen is going to be the same on the start screen. So I'm going to connect those layers. I'm going to do the same with these. And this will be really useful when when things move on screen and they don't leave the screen and you want them to be connected. You can use the connect layers. And now let's see what happens. Automatically creates the transition for me. Let's create a weird rotation. Apparently, when you export to Flinto, there's probably a bug that it doesn't export the exact rotation, but you can easily fix it, and we'll fix it in a second. And so yeah, it's, as you can see, it's already happening. It's everything is connected. One thing that I'm realizing is that you want the start screen, the glow 1, to connect with glow 2. Those are the ones that are connected, and now it grows. See how it grows from the middle? So glow 1 connects with glow 2 of the end, and glow 1 and glow 2 of these. Glow 1 from the end screen, you can leave it out, and glow 2 you can leave it out. And yeah, and I named them transition icons, and this is pretty much it. I mean, now I can actually change these. I'm going to put this instead of I'm going to change the spring to be a little bit of reduce the tension and reduce the friction, and let me hold on. There you go. Now it creates a bounce effect, and let's test it out. Boing, boing. Cool. So it's probably too much, but you play around with that and get the effect that you prefer. And I'm going to save, and remember the rotation is easily fixable here. Instead, you will see that instead of 45, it gave me 405. I don't know why, but I can just fix this. And this one, instead of 305, it should be minus 45. This little guy should be 90. So yeah, now I'm going to reuse the transition that I used over here. So this guy, I'm going to add a gesture of tap, and I'm going to target, the target is going to be close. So I'm going to put close, and the transition is going to be the same one that I created before. Done. I'm going to do the same with this guy. I'm going to add a gesture of tap. The target is going to be play, which is the next artboard. And my transition is going to be icons, reusing the transition that I created. And here, I'm going to connect play with burger, and I can do it with a loop. I just add a gesture tap, add a target as burger, and the transition is going to be the same one. And cool, now let's test it out. Okay, press preview, and I can start testing, and it's starting to look good. Probably the bouncy effect is not perfect. You can go ahead and fine tune that. The cool thing is, for example, since we're all using the same transition, the cool thing about this is if I edit the transition in one place, for example, these ones, instead of bouncy, now they're going to be a classic ease in, ease out. I can just preview it, and it's going to be applied everywhere where that transition is being used. So I don't have that bouncy effect anymore. This is, I mean, how easy is this? And cool, so we use a tap gesture, but now we can actually also, on the same object, add another gesture. And instead of tap, let's do left swipe. And it's going to be the same target, arrow, and it's going to be the same transition, icons. I'm going to do the same here. I add another gesture, left swipe. So as you can see, I have left swipe and I have tap. And both of them are doing the same. They're just being controlled in a different way. So I use the same transition. And let's test it out. So as you can see, I can use tap to go forward, but I can also now use a left swipe to go to the next one. That's so cool, right? I think I didn't add one here. This one I'm going to add another gesture, left swipe, and I'm going to say burger, the target, the same transition, icons, done. Let's preview it again. And again, you can control this by tapping, boing, 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 but you can also do it with your left swipe. And if I want to get fancy and I want to add a right swipe, right now it's not doing anything, but I can go ahead and add one more gesture, but instead of going forward, it goes backwards. So I add another gesture, and this is going to be a right swipe, and the target, instead of going to be the burger, is actually going to be close. And I reuse the same transition. That's the cool thing about reusing transitions. Let's preview it. So, as before, we were able to left swipe and just go to the next one, but I can also go back by right swiping. How cool is that? How cool is that? That's awesome. Anyway, hopefully you learn how to connect layers, how to apply different gestures to the same element, how to reuse transitions, and also that simple shapes like rectangles and circles are able to remain their vector properties on Flinto when you export them from Sketch, which is pretty cool.